In the storm-battered town of Monterey, California, where waves crash against cliffs like the fists of an angry god, a miracle flickered in the darkness. Eleanor Harris, a widow broken by a yacht accident, sat paralyzed in her cliffside mansion, her heart as cold as the Pacific winds. Her wealth could buy empires, but not the steps she once took with her late husband, William. Then came Lily, a 9-year-old with eyes like starlight, daughter of nurse Clara Bennett. Lily's small hand promised the impossible. "I can make you walk again." Eleanor laughed, her bitterness a shield against hope. But when Lily's touch sparked warmth in her lifeless legs, everything changed. Whispers of miracles spread, drawing the greedy eyes of Gentech, a biotech empire hungry to harness Lily's gift. As storms raged and secrets unraveled, Eleanor's nephew, Nathan, schemed to protect his inheritance, igniting a battle that could save or shatter them all. Would Lily's light survive the darkness of ambition, or would the world's greed extinguish her spark? In Monterey, a war for hope was just beginning. The cliffs of Monterey, California, stood defiant against the relentless Pacific storms, their jagged edges mirroring the fractured life of Eleanor Harris. Her mansion, perched high above the churning sea, was a monument to her past, a past where she danced through life with William, her husband, until a yacht accident stole her legs and her joy 15 years ago. Now, at 60, Eleanor's world was confined to a wheelchair, her wealth a hollow comfort. The mansion's vast windows framed a turbulent ocean, its waves a constant reminder of the night she lost everything. Each evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, Eleanor sat in her study, her hands tracing the armrests of her chair, her mind replaying memories of William's laughter in their garden. Her staff moved quietly, their presence barely piercing her solitude. Clara Bennett, a nurse hired 3 months prior, was different. Clara's gentle voice and steady hands brought a warmth Eleanor hadn't felt in years. Yet, Eleanor resisted connection, her heart armored by years of loss. She had dismissed countless therapists, their promises of recovery as empty as the wind. Hope, she believed, was a cruel illusion, one she could no longer afford. Her days blurred into nights, each marked by the same routine, staring at the sea, lost in regret. The mansion itself was a character in her story, its oak-paneled walls and crystal chandeliers whispering of better days. Outside, Monterey's coastal beauty was marred by the storm season, the town battered by gales that rattled windows and flooded streets. The townsfolk, hardy and weathered, spoke of the sea's wrath, but Eleanor saw it as a mirror to her own turmoil. Her wealth insulated her from the town's struggles, yet it couldn't shield her from the ache of her paralyzed legs or the weight of her loneliness. Clara's arrival had stirred something subtle. The nurse's stories of Monterey's history of shipwrecks and resilient fishermen intrigued Eleanor, though she hid it behind curt replies. Clara's daughter, Lily, often trailed behind, a quiet child with wide, searching eyes. Eleanor tolerated her presence, unaware that this unassuming girl would soon shatter her world. The mansion, though grand, felt like a tomb, its silence broken only by the storm's howl or Clara's soft humming. Eleanor's life was a carefully curated prison, her disability both a physical and emotional cage. She had no family left, save for her nephew, Nathan Harris, a man whose visits were as calculated as his smiles. Nathan, in his early 30s, managed her investments, his ambition thinly veiled. Eleanor sensed his greed but lacked the energy to confront it. Her days were a cycle of resignation, her nights haunted by dreams of running along Monterey's shores with William. The accident had severed her nerves and her spirit, leaving her to exist rather than live. As December's storms intensified, Eleanor's isolation deepened. She gazed at the ocean, its fury matching her inner chaos. Little did she know, a spark was coming, a child whose touch would challenge everything she believed about miracles, hope, and the strength to fight. The cliffs of Monterey held secrets, and Eleanor's mansion was about to become the stage for a battle that would redefine her life. The storm outside Eleanor's mansion roared like a living beast. But inside, a quieter disruption was brewing. Clara Bennett, ever diligent, was adjusting Eleanor's blanket when her daughter, Lily, slipped into the room. 9 years old. With chestnut curls and eyes that seemed to hold the ocean's depth, Lily carried an air of quiet confidence. Eleanor, lost in her usual reverie, barely noticed the girl until she spoke, her voice cutting through the room's stillness like a bell. "Mrs. Harris, I can make you walk again." Eleanor's head snapped up, her laugh sharp and bitter. "Child, don't waste my time with fairy tales." 15 years of failed treatments, surgeries, therapies, experimental drugs had taught her to distrust hope. But Lily's gaze didn't waver. She stepped closer, her small frame dwarfed by the room's grandeur. "It's not a story. I can feel what's broken in people. I can fix it." Clara, mortified, rushed to intervene. "Lily, honey, you can't say things like that." "Mrs. Harris, I'm so sorry." Eleanor raised a hand, silencing Clara. Something in Lily's unflinching stare stirred a memory of her younger self, bold and unafraid. "What exactly do you think you can do, Lily?" she asked, her tone a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Lily's answer was simple, almost matter-of-fact. "I touch people, and the broken parts wake up. Like my friend's dog last summer, it couldn't walk, but I helped it run again." Clara's face paled, but she nodded reluctantly. "She's always been special, since she was little. She sensed things: sickness, pain. Last year, our neighbor's dog was hit by a car. The vet gave up, but Lily sat with it, and the next day, it was chasing its tail." Eleanor's logical mind scoffed. Yet her heart, long buried under grief, flickered with intrigue. "And you think you can fix me? Doctors say my spinal cord is beyond repair." Lily shrugged, unfazed by medical jargon. "Doctors don't know everything. I can feel your legs. They're asleep, not gone." The room fell silent, the storm's howl the only sound. Eleanor's cynicism warred with a fragile spark of possibility. She had nothing to lose. "Fine," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Show me." Lily approached, her small hand hovering over Eleanor's blanket-covered legs. "May I?" she asked, her politeness disarming. Eleanor nodded, bracing for disappointment. Clara watched, torn between pride and fear, as Lily's fingers gently touched Eleanor's knees. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a warmth spread through Eleanor's legs, subtle at first, like sunlight breaking through fog. It wasn't just physical, it felt like hope, alive and pulsing. Eleanor gasped, her hands gripping the wheelchair. What is this?" Lily's face was serene, her eyes half closed. "Your legs are listening. They want to wake up, but it's been a long time." Clara stepped forward, her voice trembling. "Lily, that's enough for now." But Eleanor, her heart racing, shook her head. "No, let her try." The warmth lingered, a promise of something impossible. Outside, the storm raged, but inside, a different tempest was brewing, one of doubt, wonder, and the faint glow of miracles. Lily's gift had entered Eleanor's world, and nothing would ever be the same. The Monterey storm battered the mansion's windows, but within Eleanor Harris's study, a quieter miracle unfolded. Lily Bennett, her small hands resting on Eleanor's legs, closed her eyes, her face scrunched in focus. Eleanor, skeptical yet captivated, felt the warmth from Lily's touch deepen, spreading through her thighs like a tide. It wasn't just heat, it was a sensation she hadn't known in 15 years, as if her nerves were stirring from a long slumber. Her breath caught, her fingers tightening on the wheelchair's armrests. I feel something," she whispered, her voice trembling with disbelief. Clara Bennett, standing nearby, watched with a mix of awe and anxiety. "Lily, be careful," she urged, but Lily didn't flinch. "It's okay, Mommy. Her legs are waking up, but they're confused. It's like they forgot how to talk." Eleanor's mind raced. She had endured countless specialists, their diagnoses final. Her spinal cord was irreparable. Yet here was this child, defying science with a touch. The warmth pulsed, not just in her legs but in her chest, thawing the ice of her grief. For the first time since William's death, hope flickered, a dangerous, fragile thing. "Tell me what you're doing," Eleanor demanded, her voice sharper than intended. Lily opened her eyes. Their blue depths unervingly wise. "I'm helping your legs remember. They're tied in knots, but I'm untying them." The simplicity of her words clashed with the impossibility of the act. Eleanor's legs tingled, a faint prickling that made her gasp again. It wasn't movement, not yet, but it was more than she'd felt since the accident. Her logical side screamed this was a trick. But her heart clung to the sensation, desperate for it to be real. Clara stepped closer, her hands clasped tightly. "Mrs. Harris, she's done this before, small things, like animals or minor injuries. But never something like this." Eleanor's gaze softened, seeing Clara's fear for her daughter. "Has she ever failed?" she asked quietly. Clara hesitated, then shook her head. Not when it's something she can reach. But sometimes the hurt is too deep. Eleanor nodded, understanding the weight of unhealed wounds, physical and otherwise. The warmth began to fade as Lily lifted her hands, her face pale with effort. "It's a start," she said, smiling faintly. "It'll take more times. The knots are old." Eleanor stared at her legs, still tingling, and felt tears prick her eyes. She hadn't cried in years, but this child had pierced her armor in minutes. "Thank you," she murmured, surprising herself. Lily beamed, her exhaustion forgotten. Outside, lightning cracked, illuminating the room's opulence and the three figures bound by this moment. Eleanor's hope, though tentative, was alive, a spark in the darkness of her resignation. She looked at Lily, seeing not just a child but a force that could rewrite her story. Yet, with hope came fear. What would this gift cost? Clara, sensing the shift, touched Lily's shoulder. "We should go. You need rest." Eleanor nodded, but her mind was alight with possibilities. As they left, the storm's fury seemed to echo the upheaval within her. Lily's touch had planted a seed, and Eleanor, for the first time in a decade, dared to dream of walking along Monterey's cliffs again. The Monterey storm hadn't relented, its winds howling as if warning of trouble brewing within Eleanor Harris's mansion. Nathan Harris, Eleanor's nephew, stormed into the study the next morning. His tailored suit wrinkled from a sleepless night. His sharp features were taut with suspicion, his eyes darting between Eleanor and Clara, who stood protectively near Lily. Nathan had heard whispers from the staff about the miracle child and the strange warmth in Eleanor's legs. "And Eleanor, what's this nonsense about a kid healing you?" he demanded, his voice laced with disdain. Eleanor, still reeling from Lily's touch, met his gaze with newfound resolve. "It's not nonsense, Nathan. I felt something yesterday, something real." Nathan scoffed, pacing the room like a predator. "You're being conned. This girl's a fraud, and her mother's in on it. They're after your money." Clara's face flushed with anger, but Eleanor raised a hand, silencing her. "Lily's done more in one day than your endless specialists, Nathan." "I'm not dismissing her." Nathan's eyes narrowed. He was 32, ambitious, and had long counted on Eleanor's paralysis to secure his inheritance. A healthy, independent aunt could upend his plans, perhaps even adopt or remarry, diluting his claim. "You're vulnerable," he pressed, his tone softening to feign concern. "I'm just looking out for you. Let me investigate this Clara and her daughter. For your safety." Eleanor's jaw tightened. She'd tolerated Nathan's greed, but his accusation against Lily struck a nerve. "You'll do no such thing," she said coldly. Lily, quiet until now, stepped forward, her voice steady. "You're scared, Mr. Harris. Not of me, but of what I can do." Nathan froze, unnerved by her piercing gaze. "What are you implying, kid?" he snapped. Lily tilted her head, as if seeing through him. "You want Mrs. Harris to stay sick. It makes things easier for you." The room went still, the storm's roar amplifying the tension. Clara gasped, pulling Lily back, but the words hung like a blade. Nathan's face reddened, his control slipping. "This is absurd. Aunt Eleanor, you can't believe this nonsense." Eleanor's heart pounded. Lily's insight echoed her own buried suspicions about Nathan's motives. "Enough," she said, her voice carrying a strength she hadn't used in years. "Lily is my guest, and you'll treat her with respect." Nathan's fists clenched, but he forced a smile. "Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you." He stormed out, slamming the door, the sound reverberating through the mansion. Clara knelt beside Lily, her voice trembling. "You can't say things like that, sweetheart. It's dangerous." But Eleanor, staring at the door, felt a shift. Lily's gift wasn't just physical, it exposed truths, peeling back masks. She looked at the girl, her small frame belying a power that unnerved even Nathan. Outside, lightning illuminated the cliffs, mirroring the storm within Eleanor's heart. Nathan's exit wasn't the end. She knew he'd act, his greed a ticking bomb. Lily's presence had ignited a family war, one that threatened to consume them all. As the rain pounded Monterey, Eleanor resolved to protect Lily, sensing that the girl's gift was both a blessing and a target. The mansion, once a tomb, was now a battleground, and Eleanor was ready to fight. The storm over Monterey raged on, its fury matched by the tension within Eleanor Harris's mansion. Dr. Samuel Carter, Eleanor's physician for a decade, arrived for his monthly checkup, his gray hair damp from the rain. A man of science, he'd long accepted Eleanor's paralysis as permanent. His visits more about comfort than cure. But today, Eleanor's call had been urgent. She'd felt sensation in her legs, sparked by a child named Lily. Carter, skeptical but intrigued, entered the study where Eleanor waited, her eyes alight with a fire he hadn't seen in years. "Tell me everything," Carter said, setting up his equipment. Eleanor recounted Lily's touch, the warmth, the tingling sensations defying her diagnosis. Clara, nearby, held Lily's hand, the girl watching Carter with quiet curiosity. "I know it sounds impossible," Eleanor said, "but I felt it." Carter frowned, his scientific mind resistant. Psychosomatic responses can mimic sensation. "Let's test." He ran neurological exams, tapping Eleanor's knees, checking reflexes. To his shock, her leg twitched faintly, a response absent for 15 years. "This shouldn't be happening," he muttered, his voice unsteady. Lily spoke up, her tone calm. "Her legs are waking up, Dr. Carter. They're remembering how to work." Carter stared at the girl, her simplicity clashing with the data on his monitor. Neural activity spiked where there should be none. "How do you do this?" he asked. More to himself than Lily, Clara answered, her voice hesitant. "She's always been special. She healed a neighbor's cat, even my cousin's arthritis. But nothing like this." Carter's skepticism wavered. He'd seen medical anomalies, but this was unprecedented. He turned to Eleanor. "I need to document this. If this is real, it's a breakthrough." Eleanor nodded, but her gaze was on Lily. "She's not an experiment, Samuel. She's a child." Carter agreed, though his mind raced with possibilities. He conducted more tests, each confirming subtle improvements in Eleanor's neural responses. Lily watched, unafraid, as if her gift was as natural as breathing. Carter, a man who trusted data over miracles, felt his worldview shift. "I don't understand it," he admitted. "But I can't deny what I'm seeing." Clara's expression softened. "She's not here to be studied. She just wants to help." Carter nodded, his professional detachment cracking. He recalled his own daughter, lost to illness years ago, and saw in Lily a spark of something extraordinary. "I'll protect her anonymity," he promised, "but we need to monitor this carefully." Eleanor's voice was firm. "Agreed, but Lily's safety comes first." As Carter packed his equipment, the storm outside seemed to echo the upheaval within. He glanced at Lily, who smiled faintly, her eyes holding a wisdom beyond her years. Nathan's earlier outburst lingered in Eleanor's mind, and she confided in Carter about his suspicions. "He's trouble," Carter warned. "If he talks, this could get out of control." Eleanor's jaw tightened. She knew Nathan's greed could draw unwanted attention, endangering Lily. Carter left, promising to return with discreet monitoring tools. But the mansion felt less like a sanctuary now. Lily's gift, once a private miracle, was becoming a beacon, and Eleanor sensed the world closing in. The cliffs of Monterey loomed outside, guarding secrets that could no longer stay hidden. The Monterey storm showed no mercy, its winds tearing at Eleanor Harris's mansion as if sensing the chaos within. Nathan Harris, fueled by greed and fear, had acted swiftly after his confrontation with Eleanor. Convinced Lily was a threat to his inheritance, he contacted Gentech, a biotech giant notorious for exploiting medical anomalies. Nathan's call, laced with half-truths about a miracle child, reached Dr. Evelyn Morse, Gentech's lead scientist, whose ambition was matched only by her desperation to cure her own terminal illness. Within hours, Gentech's sleek black SUVs rolled into Monterey, their arrival unnoticed amidst the town's storm-induced chaos. Inside the mansion, Eleanor, Clara, and Lily were unaware of the approaching danger. Eleanor's legs still tingled from Lily's touch, her hope growing despite her caution. Clara, sensing Eleanor's shift, shared more about Lily's past, how she'd healed a neighbor's child of chronic pain, always at a cost to her own strength. "She's fragile after," Clara admitted, her voice heavy. Eleanor nodded, her resolve to protect Lily deepening. But the peace was shattered when Nathan returned, his face a mask of false concern. "Aunt Eleanor, I've done you a favor," he said, his smile chilling. "Experts are coming to verify this phenomenon." Before Eleanor could respond, the doorbell echoed through the mansion. Clara peered out, her face paling. Men in suits. They don't look friendly. Eleanor's heart sank as Dr. Morse entered, flanked by Gentech agents. Morse, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and a clinical demeanor, introduced herself. Mrs. Harris, we're here to investigate reports of an unlicensed medical procedure performed by a minor. We need to speak with the child. Lily clutched Clara's hand, her eyes wide but defiant. Eleanor's voice was ice. Lily is my guest, not your subject. You have no authority here. Morse's smile was thin. Gentech has government contracts. We're authorized to protect public safety. If this child's abilities are real, they could be dangerous or invaluable. Clara stepped forward, her voice trembling with fury. You're not touching my daughter. But Morse's gaze was on Lily, calculating, as if seeing a solution to her own mortality. We only want to observe, she lied, her tone smooth. Nathan, hovering nearby, smirked, believing he'd secured his future. But Eleanor saw through him. You've betrayed us, Nathan, she said, her words cutting. He flinched but didn't retreat. Morse pressed on, producing documents. We have a court order to examine the child. Cooperation is in everyone's interest. Eleanor's mind raced. She knew Gentech's reputation, rumors of unethical experiments, missing subjects. Lily's gift, once a private miracle, was now a corporate prize. As the storm raged outside, Lily spoke, her voice steady. I'm not afraid of you. I help people, not hurt them. Morse's eyes narrowed, intrigued yet dismissive. We'll see what you're capable of, child. Eleanor gripped her wheelchair, her newfound hope warring with fear. Gentech's presence was a dark cloud, threatening to smother Lily's light. Clara pulled Lily close, whispering assurances, but the mansion felt like a trap. Eleanor knew they were outmatched, but she vowed to fight. The cliffs of Monterey stood sentinel outside, as if guarding the battle about to unfold. Gentech had come for Lily, and Eleanor would do whatever it took to keep her safe. The Monterey storm seemed to fuel the chaos engulfing Eleanor Harris's mansion. Unbeknownst to Eleanor, Clara, or Lily, a staff member, swayed by Nathan's promises, had recorded Lily's healing session and leaked it online. The grainy video, showing Eleanor's legs twitching under Lily's touch, exploded across social media. Tagged #Monterey Miracle. By dawn, news vans lined the cliffs, their lights piercing the storm's gloom. Reporters shouted questions, while vigilante groups, drawn by tales of a healing child, gathered, some worshipping Lily as a saint, others decrying her as a hoax. The mansion, once a sanctuary, was now a circus. Inside, Eleanor stared at her tablet, the viral video looping. Her heart sank as comments flooded in, some awestruck, others vicious, accusing Clara of child exploitation. How did this happen? She demanded. Clara, pale, shook her head. I don't know. But Lily's not safe. Lily, curled on a couch, looked small against the chaos. I just wanted to help, she whispered, her voice trembling. Eleanor's resolve hardened. The world's eyes were on them. And Gentech's agents, still lurking, saw opportunity in the frenzy. Dr. Morse, stationed in a nearby hotel, watched the coverage with a predator's focus. The public outcry strengthened Gentech's case. Lily's gift was too powerful to remain uncontrolled. She dispatched more agents, their SUVs blending with the media swarm. Nathan, smug in his betrayal, slipped into the mansion, feigning innocence. Aunt Eleanor, this is out of control. Let Gentech handle it. They'll protect her. Eleanor's glare silenced him. You did this, Nathan. You've endangered a child for your own gain. Nathan's smirk faltered, but he didn't retreat. Outside, the crowd grew volatile. A reporter breached the gates, banging on the door. Show us the miracle girl, he shouted. Clara pulled Lily away from the windows, her fear palpable. Eleanor, her legs still tingling from Lily's touch, felt a surge of protectiveness. We need to get her out of here, she said, but the roads were blocked, the storm and mob trapping them. Dr. Carter arrived, his face grim. The video's gone global. Gentech is claiming Lily's a public health risk. They're pushing for emergency custody. Lily's eyes met Eleanor's, steady despite her fear. If I show them I can help, will they leave me alone? Eleanor's heart ached at her innocence. It's not that simple, sweetheart. They want to own you. The truth hung heavy. Lily's gift, meant for good, had made her a target. The storm's roar mingled with the crowd's chants, amplifying the sense of siege. Clara clutched Lily, whispering, We'll fight this. Eleanor's mind raced. She called her lawyer, demanding injunctions against Gentech, but time was short. The viral video had turned Lily into a phenomenon, her face plastered across screens worldwide. Vigilantes lit candles. Skeptics hurled accusations. Genteca's agents circled closer, their presence a dark promise. Eleanor knew the mansion couldn't shield them much longer. As lightning illuminated Monterey's cliffs, she vowed to protect Lily, even if it meant defying the world. The chaos outside mirrored the battle within. Hope against greed, love against ambition. Lily's gift had lit a fire, and Eleanor would ensure it burned for good, not destruction. The Monterey storm reached its zenith, its fury shaking Eleanor Harris's mansion as if the heavens themselves were at war. Inside, the air crackled with urgency. Lily, her small frame trembling from exhaustion, knelt beside Eleanor's wheelchair, her hands poised over Eleanor's legs. "I can finish it now," she said, her voice resolute despite the chaos outside. News helicopters buzzed overhead, their spotlights piercing the storm, while Genteca's agents, emboldened by the viral frenzy, prepared to breach the mansion. Eleanor's heart raced. She felt the warmth in her legs growing stronger, but fear for Lily overshadowed her hope. Clara, barricading the doors with Dr. Carter, shouted, "They're coming. We can't hold them off." The storm's howl drowned out the crowd's chants, but Genteca's SUVs were visible through the windows, their lights cutting through the rain. Lily, undeterred, pressed her hands harder, her face pale with effort. "Your legs are ready," she whispered. "They remember how to stand." Eleanor gasped as sensation flooded her thighs, calves, feet, a symphony of nerves awakening after 15 years. Her muscles twitched, alive, defying every medical prognosis. Dr. Carter, monitoring neural activity, stared at his tablet in disbelief. "Her spinal cord's responding like the injury never happened," he exclaimed. But the moment was shattered by a crash. The front door splintered under Genteca's battering ram. Agents in tactical gear stormed in, led by Dr. Morse, her eyes gleaming with desperation. "Secure the child," she ordered. Clara lunged, shielding Lily, but agents restrained her. Eleanor gripped her wheelchair, her voice thunderous. "You will not touch her." Lily, still focused, murmured, "Almost there." The warmth in Eleanor's legs surged, a radiant force that felt like sunlight in her veins. Her right leg moved, then her left, muscles contracting in unison. "Now, Mrs. Harris," Lily urged, her voice strained. Dr. Carter and Clara, fighting off agents, yelled for Eleanor to stand. With a cry, Eleanor pushed against the armrests, her legs trembling but strong. She stood, wobbly yet upright, for the first time since the accident. The room froze. Even the agents paused, stunned by the miracle. Morse's composure cracked, her terminal illness a shadow in her gaze. "This changes everything," she muttered. But her orders didn't waver. "Take the girl." Lily, exhausted, collapsed into Clara's arms, her energy spent. Eleanor, standing tall despite her shaking legs, stepped forward, her presence commanding. "You want her gift? You'll have to go through me." The storm's lightning illuminated her defiance, casting her as a beacon against the encroaching darkness. Genteca's agents hesitated, their resolve shaken by Eleanor's transformation. Carter, seizing the moment, brandished his tablet. "This is documented. You can't deny what she's done." But Morse, driven by her own mortality, pressed forward, her voice cold. "She's too valuable to leave." Eleanor's heart pounded. She was walking, a miracle born of Lily's courage. But the cost was clear. Lily's freedom hung in the balance. And the mansion, battered by storm and siege, was no longer a refuge. As thunder shook Monterey's cliffs, Eleanor knew this wasn't the end. Lily's gift had given her strength, and now she'd use it to fight for the child who'd changed her life. The battle for Lily's light was far from over. The Monterey storm raged on, its thunder echoing the turmoil inside Eleanor Harris's besieged mansion. Genteca's agents surrounded Lily, Clara, and Eleanor, their weapons drawn as Dr. Evelyn Morse loomed over the scene. Eleanor stood, her newly healed legs trembling but resolute, shielding Lily, who lay exhausted in Clara's arms. The viral video had turned Lily into a global phenomenon, and Genteca saw her as the key to medical revolution and Morse's own salvation. But Lily, despite her fatigue, lifted her head, her blue eyes locking onto Morse. "I can help you," she said softly, her words cutting through the chaos. Morse froze, her terminal illness a secret known only to her. "What are you talking about, child?" she snapped, but her voice betrayed fear. Lily's gaze was unflinching. "Your body's sick, your stomach, your blood. I can feel it. Let me fix it, and let us go." Clara gasped, clutching Lily tighter. "No, sweetheart, you're too weak. But Lily's resolve was iron. I have to, Mommy. It's the only way. Eleanor, her heart breaking, saw the weight of Lily's sacrifice, a child offering her gift to save them all. Morse's eyes narrowed, her ambition warring with desperation. You're in no position to bargain, she said, but her trembling hands betrayed her. Lily struggled to her feet, supported by Clara. If I don't help you, you'll die. But I won't do it unless you promise we're free, no more tests, no more chasing us. The agents shifted uneasily, their loyalty to Morse wavering as they sensed her vulnerability. Dr. Carter stepped forward, his voice steady. She's telling the truth. I've seen her heal Eleanor. She can do this. Eleanor, her legs steadying with each moment, added, You've seen what she's capable of. Take her deal, or lose everything. Morse's face contorted, her scientific pride crumbling under the weight of her mortality. The storm outside roared, lightning illuminating the room's tension. Fine, Morse said at last, her voice hoarse. Heal me, and I'll call off the operation. Lily nodded, her small frame swaying with exhaustion. Clara, tears streaming, helped her approach Morse. Lily placed her hands on Morse's abdomen, her face scrunching in concentration. A soft glow seemed to emanate from her touch, though the storm's flashes made it hard to tell. Morse gasped, her body trembling as warmth spread through her. The agents watched, mesmerized, as Morse's pallor faded, her breathing easing. Lily's knees buckled, but she held on, whispering, The sickness is confused. It's leaving. When she finally pulled away, collapsing into Clara's arms, Morse stood stunned, her pain gone for the first time in months. You have your miracle, Eleanor said, her voice commanding. Now keep your word. Morse, shaken, nodded slowly. Stand down, she ordered the agents. Her authority restored, but her perspective altered. She looked at Lily, a child who'd saved her life, and saw not a subject but a force of good. The storm's fury began to wane, as if Monterey itself exhaled. Lily's sacrifice had turned the tide, but Eleanor knew the world would never forget her. As Gin-Tech retreated, Eleanor vowed to protect Lily's future, her own strength a testament to the girl's courage. The Monterey storm subsided, its winds fading to a whisper as dawn broke over Eleanor Harris's mansion. The chaos of the night, Gin-Tech's siege. The viral frenzy seemed a distant memory, though its scars lingered. Dr. Evelyn Morse, healed by Lily's touch, stood in the study, her face a mix of awe and humility. She'd ordered her agents to withdraw, their SUVs vanishing into the morning mist. Lily, exhausted but safe, rested in Clara's arms, her small chest rising and falling with steady breaths. Eleanor, standing on legs that defied medical science, felt a strength beyond the physical, a fire rekindled by Lily's courage. Morse, her terminal illness gone, addressed Eleanor and Clara. The operation's over. No more pursuit, no more tests. Her voice, once cold, carried a tremor of gratitude. Clara, tears in her eyes, clutched Lily tighter. She's free, she asked, barely daring to hope. Morse nodded. I owe her my life. Gin-Tech will back off, for now. Eleanor's gaze was steel. Not just for now. I'll use every resource I have to ensure Lily's safety. Her wealth, once a hollow comfort, now had purpose. Dr. Carter, his tablet filled with data on Eleanor's recovery, stepped forward. I'll publish anonymously. The world needs to know. But not at Lily's expense. Eleanor agreed, her mind already on legal protections, a trust fund for Lily, lawyers to shield her from future threats. Nathan, exposed as the catalyst for the chaos, had fled Monterey, his inheritance dream shattered. Eleanor felt no pity. His betrayal had forged her resolve. The mansion, battered by the storm, stood as a testament to their survival. Outside, the media frenzy had dispersed, the viral video overshadowed by new headlines. The vigilantes and skeptics drifted away, leaving Monterey's cliffs quiet once more. Lily stirred, her eyes fluttering open. Did it work? She whispered. Clara kissed her forehead. You saved us, sweetheart. Lily smiled, her exhaustion tempered by peace. Eleanor knelt beside her, her legs steady now. You gave me more than walking, Lily. You gave me purpose. Morse lingered, her transformation evident. I'll redirect Gin-Tech's focus. Ethical research, not exploitation. She promised, her voice sincere. Eleanor nodded, sensing truth in her words. As Morse left, the morning sun bathed the mansion in gold, its warmth echoing Lily's gift. Clara and Lily prepared to leave, but Eleanor stopped them. "This is your home, if you want it. Your family now." Clara's eyes welled, and she nodded, overwhelmed. Eleanor walked to the window, her steps tentative but sure, gazing at the Pacific. The ocean, once a symbol of her loss, now spoke of resilience. Lily's gift had rippled beyond her legs, healing wounds of grief and isolation. She'd fund schools, shelters, anything to honor Lily's light. Monterey's cliffs stood sentinel, guarding a new chapter. Lily, Clara, and Eleanor were bound by more than miracles. They were a family forged in fire. As the town awoke, unaware of the battle won, Eleanor vowed to protect Lily's freedom, her own transformation a beacon of hope. The storm was over, but the light Lily had sparked would burn forever, a testament to the power of a child's courage. The story of Lily, Eleanor, and the Monterey storm carries a timeless lesson. True strength lies in compassion and courage, even when the world seeks to exploit your gifts. Lily's touch healed Eleanor's legs, but her selflessness, offering her gift to save others, even at great cost, mended hearts and reshaped destinies. Eleanor, once broken by loss, found purpose in protecting Lily, proving that hope can bloom in the darkest storms. Dr. Morse, driven by ambition, was transformed by Lily's empathy, reminding us that kindness can shift even the hardest hearts. This tale shows that miracles aren't just in the extraordinary, they're in the quiet acts of love that defy greed and fear. We live in a world quick to judge, to control what it doesn't understand. Much like Genteka's pursuit of Lily. Yet, her courage teaches us to stand firm in our truth, to give without expecting reward. Eleanor's transformation urges us to rise above our pain, to fight for those who spark light in our lives. The lesson is clear. Compassion is a force stronger than any storm, capable of healing wounds we cannot see. It's a choice to see the good in others, to protect the vulnerable, even when it's hard. So what can you do? Embrace kindness in your own life. A small act, listening to a friend, helping a stranger, standing up for someone in need can spark miracles. Share Lily's story with others, not just to inspire, but to remind them that hope and courage are contagious. Write a note of gratitude. Volunteer in your community, or simply offer a smile to someone struggling. These acts ripple, like Lily's gift, creating change beyond what you can imagine. Let's build a world where compassion triumphs over ambition, where every child like Lily is free to shine. Start today, right now, with one kind deed. The cliffs of Monterey stood witness to a miracle. Let your actions be the next. Share this story, spread its light, and together, let's make hope unstoppable.